Hello, welcome back to our channel. I'm Lucy Charles-Barclay, the current reigning Ironman World Champion, and in this video we're going to cover my recent race, which was Ironman France in Nice. Yeah, so after T100 Singapore, we got home, we debriefed myself and Reese. We spoke about how that race went and kind of how it had freed up the opportunity for me to potentially go and race Ironman France. So obviously I entered the race so that I'm on the start list, and then with my training really we just went with a hybrid approach because the London race would be not long after the Ironman in France, so we decided to have 75% of my training was more focused around the T100 distance, keeping that intensity in there, but every week I would do at least one long ride and one long run to make sure that I could still finish the Ironman. So yeah, it wasn't fully focused on doing the Ironman because I wasn't 100% sure I would race it. I wanted to go out and ride the course before I made that final decision. So ultimately we still had to keep that intensity there so that I could be firing on the T100 distance as well. Yeah, so we decided to head out to France about 3 weeks before the race. Ultimately, I wanted to have a bit of a feel for the place, get out on the bike course before I fully committed to racing. I wanted to make sure that I was happy with everything. So I was lucky enough to do some riding and swimming with Marjolaine and with Clement. So yeah, that was really nice. And then also to have the opportunity to swim with the Antibes Swim Club, which really put me through my paces, and it's an amazing 50-metre outdoor pool. So definitely really nice training environment. And then just to be able to run outside along the promenade and have the local people cheering me on and feeling like I had support during my training was really nice. And I very quickly knew that I was definitely going to be racing the Ironman because I just had a great feeling straight away. Yeah, I don't think I ever really said the course didn't suit me. I just feel like everyone else said that, and I maybe just kind of was like, okay, maybe the course doesn't suit me, just from hearing that so many times. And I think that was one of the main reasons why I was like, actually, I'm going to go out there and ride the bike course, see what I think. And it actually reminded me of a lot of the early Ironmans that I'd done, like Ironman UK in Bolton, Ironman Lanzarote. Both of those are quite hilly, quite technical courses. So actually in my really early days, when I was a complete novice, I was racing on these courses. So now, if anything, I should be better at these courses. So yeah, definitely straight away I knew that I loved it, and actually I feel like it could really suit my strengths. There was definitely a huge response to me announcing that I was going to be racing, and the main reason for racing was obviously to validate on the same course that the World Champs will be in September. So definitely a lot of positive response. I think the main thing in anything that you do in life, if you make a decision, you don't have to just stick with that decision. Things will change. And for me, I had such a big injury at the end of last year. It took 16 weeks to recover that injury. I didn't know if I would actually ever be in a state to race at the top level in Ironman again. And then to have such a solid start to my season in the T100 races, it just gave me that freedom to go and give this a try. And I'm definitely super happy that I did that now. My main goal for the race itself was just to enjoy it. I didn't want to have a really bad experience because it might make me not want to do the World Champs in September. So ultimately, it was about having a really positive day, enjoying it, soaking up the atmosphere and trying to learn as much as possible. So I definitely feel like all of those boxes were ticked. You're my soul. You're my soul, you're my heart, my one.
You're my soul. You're my soul.
The swim, obviously, is my strength, so getting out in the swim wasn't a problem. The only part that was slightly difficult was when I had completed the first loop. There was a little bit of congestion and traffic as kind of the last age groupers were starting their swim, so I just had to navigate that a little bit, but wasn't a huge drama. Got onto the second lap, completed the swim, and that was all completely fine. It was quite a long transition, but it was a wetsuit swim, so it just gave you that little bit more time to get the wetsuit off, get to the bike, and then get out onto the bike course. I think the main thing with the bike course was it was just super fun. I actually had the back end of the 70.3 race that was going on, which I guess, side note, it was pretty impressive to see that there was a 70.3 happening, an Ironman happening, 5,000 athletes all on the same course. It's a pretty big feat to achieve, so actually it ran really, really smoothly considering that. And when I started the bike, I obviously had some of the 70.3 athletes starting their bike ride, so I kind of was just giving them a little bit of encouragement as I started my bike ride, and I feel like just by giving that energy to them, I get energy back. It's absolutely stunning. The views are probably like nothing else I've ever seen. It's probably the most stunning bike course I've ever ridden. So yeah, really looking forward to riding it again in September. T2 again, very similar to T1. It was quite a long transition, and then started the run. My main goal was just to run as relaxed as possible. I knew I had quite a good lead on second place. I think it was about 11 or 12 minutes at the end of the bike, so I had a nice cushion on the run. Just went off of field to begin with. I was looking at my watch, but unfortunately the GPS definitely wasn't working because it was saying I was running like 5 minute a K or slower. So I was like, am I running really slowly, or is something not working here? And then when I got to the 5K turnaround point, that's where Reese was, and he was like, you've already taken another 2 minutes out of the second place athlete, so you can probably slow down a little bit. And then I was like, my watch isn't working. At that point, he was like, you're running literally 2:42 marathon pace. So I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely running well. It feels nice and relaxed. Let's just try and kind of slow it down a little bit. And then when I got back to Reese again after 15K, he was like, you're still running really, really fast. And I was like, you know what? I feel really good. Let's just keep it relaxed. It doesn't feel like I'm pushing too hard. I was looking at my heart rate and it was around 140. And I'd say like normally in an Ironman, my heart rate is around 150, 155 on the run. So I knew I was definitely well within myself. The one thing I did say to Reese was, I probably am going to stop for the loo at some point. So don't panic if there's a really slow split. I've just had a toilet stop. And then yeah, when I kept running, got back to Reese again at 25K, I was like, look, just don't panic. I feel really good. I knew he would be probably a bit stressed, thinking, why is she going this hard? And I was like, I'm really not. This just feels super controlled. Yeah, the finish line was amazing. I think just to win a race, I never ever take it for granted. So to have that moment on the finish line with all the crowd is just unbelievable. And then to cross the line and have mum and dad, the dogs, my husband Reese there, yeah, it was just lovely. I think that's the first time ever at quite a big race I've had the dogs there. So yeah, it just made it even more special. And I got to see them on the run course as well. So yeah, that was really cool. Anyone who watches our channel would have seen a video a good few weeks ago where I said that I'd been diagnosed with celiac disease. I definitely feel like making those changes in my diet, cutting out gluten, has made a big difference. Some of you may have noticed that my tri-suit looked a little bit baggy, a little bit loose, and that is due to the fact that I've lost a lot of water retention, and I do feel like I've got way less inflammation in my body. My recovery has been so much better after this Ironman, probably than any other Ironman I've ever done. And I think one of the things that I've experienced in the past is I've always been definitely in awe of the athletes that can literally do back-to-back Ironmans, because my body just couldn't do that. I've almost questioned, what did I do? Like, did I just put myself completely into the well? Like, now I've recovered really well, bounced back really well, and can definitely just get straight back into training. So yeah, it definitely feels like it's been a hugely positive change so far.
The little recovery spin post Ironman, little spin back to the house.
Yeah, so obviously validating Ironman Nice, it validated me for both the Ironman World Championships in September and the 70.3 World Championships in December, which is really exciting. It gives me 2 more great opportunities to race. I'm still fully committed to the T100 series, the next one being in London, which is hugely exciting for me. We have the grand final of the T100 at the end of November, which, like I said, it's still a huge goal of mine. I'm currently leading the standings, so I definitely want to keep performing over that distance. I imagine with it being such a late finish to this season, it's going to be an early start to next season as well. So I'll just have to see how my body holds out for the 70.3 Worlds in December. I definitely will need a bit of a break at the end of the season before we roll into next year. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes.
Championne du monde en titre à Kona l'année dernière. Elle devait terminer un Ironman, ce qu'elle a fait d'une brillante manière. Applaudissements représentant l'Angleterre, Lucy Charles-Barclay.
Okay, as always, thanks so much for watching this video. That's been a bit of a wrap up about Ironman France, and you can keep following us as we do our build up to the T100 in London, which will be my next race at the end of July. As always, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos coming soon. Come on.
Oh my god.
Why are they wild?